I want to talk about my mom. My mom's name was Nina Gale. And at one time, she did steal my credit for $7,000. And yeah, I forgave her, moved on. And when I needed help from her, she actually helped me out. I was in Texas with my family, and senior psychopath just wasn't cutting the mustard there. So we moved from Texas all the way to California and not San Bernardino. She lived in Fontana. I lived in Hesperia. And the house had animals. She had her friends stay there, and they had 100 dogs and I think 100 cats. It was in the Hesperia News. And then he moved her down in the other house. And he moved her in that house because, he'd be gone for a week or two. So what happened was she ended up moving down to the Fontana house, which was a hole in the wall. And when he did that, they probably already bulldozed it and built a new one. And I'm going to be honest, yeah, it needed it. This time I'm going to say it needed it. And she lived there. And when I worked over at TGI Fridays, I would check up on her all the time. And she was doing pretty good at that time. It was when I really stayed with her, I seen what happened because I didn't have a vehicle. I'd have someone across the street, a neighbor, drive me there, but he would never take me back up because his girlfriend didn't, more or less didn't feel comfortable with him taking me back up. I don't know. I don't know how it went, but I had to wait for my stepdad to take me back up, and he wouldn't do it sometimes for 3 days. Why should I take you up? You got to go back to work tomorrow anyway. So I'd work until, I needed my 3 days off, and I kept doing that. I'd take care of my mom, and she was getting worse. And I'm like, wow, she's not as peppy as before. I realized that she needed to see a doctor. And he's like, yeah, okay, made a doctor's visit, and I took her with a neighbor. I asked for a neighbor for a ride, and we got her there. And that's when we'd have so much fun in taking her to her doctor's visit. She'd stand in front of me, and the doctor would say, did you do this? And I'd go, so why didn't you? I'm telling you. No, you didn't. Okay, I didn't. It was hilarious. I got her a sticker on a sticker thing like a little kid. That's how I was to go, well, how many stickers you want today? One only? None? And she'd shut up if she was misacting or acting, entitled. Taking her out to eat was playing, the sticker game. That's the only thing that got her to be good. I found it, she had Alzheimer's, and it was fun washing her up every time. And when she messed her bed, it was a whole thing. I was the parent, and I knew that when I wasn't there, she wasn't being taken care of because my stepdad thought it was okay to leave an Alzheimer's patient without even having the nurse check in on her. So finally, back then when you made a report to CPS for elder abuse, they said if it was a family member, if it was a neighbor. So I thought, since cheap ass who charged us an arm and a leg, back then people were losing their houses. You can rent a house like the one I was over in Hesperia for about $400, but I was paying double that, $850. And he was, as far as I'm concerned, he was an asshole. He really was. So they took her to the doctor and found out she had a heart condition. She had 6 months to live. I was the one who pushed for it because she was sleeping all the time. She was tired, and I'm like, oh, there's something wrong in your heart. Because I knew that the drugs that she used were bad for the heart. That's why I never got into all that. That's why I just got into weed. Hey, you go to the dispensary, you don't have to worry about anything about getting a prescription and all that crap. You go when you have the money. Boom, boom, boom. So I had to come to a complete thing that my mom wasn't going to be with me. And she had 6 months. She lived 2 months, 2 or 3 months longer, and she tied up affairs. We both talked. Being that she had Alzheimer's, there was times you played the game called, yeah, I'm 18. Oh, yep, school's going good. And I would ask her stuff that the doctor would want her to know, and I'd call the doctor back, and say, I got the answer. How do you do that? I pretend I'm 18 and she's asking a questionnaire in a teen magazine. We used to do them together. I thought it was fun. So I just figured that one out. I'm going to be honest, it was the hardest thing I ever did and tried to protect. And yes, he found out and we got evicted. He tried to evict us he said a year. We left after 11 months because he said, hey, I want the $850. And I'm like, blow me. And we left and lived over in a whole different area, a different school district and stuff. And they couldn't find us. We lived where I had a roller coaster for a road to get to my house, or you went the dirt road. Yeah, it was out there and it was beautiful. Actually, I seen more stars out there than here. I'm being honest, because there was not a lot of, the neighbors didn't have their light in the back and all that crap. It was just, you were very far from your neighbors. So when she passed away, I took it hard, it was hard for me. And I had to keep it all inside because my ex was making jokes and stuff. I'm like, dude, she was on pills, never mind. He knows not. So anyway, we go to her funeral. We were told that when she was alive, she wanted us to all be treated to the, it was over at the, this one Mexican restaurant that was my mom's favorite restaurant where we're supposed to go. No, he bought $6 worth of donuts, and we drove well over an hour to get to her place, for her burial. And it was just so lackluster. I said, damn, that just sucks the way he sent my mom off. I was like, dang, I didn't have the money. I was on welfare. My brother stole my identity, and because he went to see my mom and didn't see my mom and went through the stuff and found my social security number and used it to get now they're coming. It's been well after the time, so yeah, it really kind of bummed in a lot of way that he did that to me, and thought it was funny. I wish I could have it proven where it was him, and he would have to be stuck with the $800. Just, it is what it is. So I figured I'd make this video so people wouldn't think that I hated moms or whatever. I didn't. I took care of my mom and did the best that I could for what I had in the situation. And that's the truth. I had to deal with what you would call a Darren, a person who was very negative and didn't try to see the plus things in life. And that's just the way it went. So I hope you can understand. I'm not going to be going online. I'll upload. I don't want to piss off anyone. And I'm not going to go live when X is live, when Johnny Yarbrough, those type of things. But yeah, I'm just going to take a break from now. And I want everyone to know, yes, I took care of my mom when she had Alzheimer's. I had to come to a complete realization she was not going to see either of my children past the age that they were at, pretty much. And, it is what it is. You got to accept it, forgive them. It's good to forgive them while they're living. For some reason, it just seems easier. It's easier to forgive while they are living because you can tell them and they can tell to you how they feel about that situation. It's a wonderful thing. So anyway, have a wonderful, day. Have a cosmic day. I am going to get some stuff done.